Reddit can be a very good source to find your customers. I usually post whenever I have a product or a new automation on Reddit. A good portion of the customers come from here, whether they're buying my N8N templates or joining my school. I look for top performing posts in a relevant subreddit, replicate the same format. Using AI, I analyze why someone would have found that interesting, whether it is the tone, the style, rewrite my product offering in a way that the audience finds appealing. So today I'm going to show you the automation that I use. We have this keyword research agents and Reddit API usage. We use another AI agent, post analyzer, to create similar posts based on best performing posts. We use a Google Sheet to manage the data that we process during the workflow. So first we are finding all the engaging posts here, and for each keyword we are getting all the related posts. And the output would be something like we can see here. We will derive the post tone, the word count, approximately 480, 5 paragraphs, moderate length, clear structure with a mix of technical explanation and a personal experience, professional, friendly, create a post in a detailed, engaging, and technical style. So this is the similar promotional post content that we have come up with, the original post being this one right here. I use ChatGPT-4 to create that automates absolutely everything. You have likely seen an influx of blah, blah, blah. And in the similar post created is very similar to the original post, which you have probably seen a lot of tools automating parts of video creation, but many still require manual effort on some steps. Similar style and tone and everything. The original post was well received by the audience of that particular subreddit. So you have the subreddit recorded here as well. I've actually changed this manually. This used to be ChatGPT here. I was testing out the publishing part, so I had to change that to my own Reddit group to see the published post. And then finally it gets published here once the publishing process goes through, and then it is marked as published. So that's pretty much it. So if you go into our community, we have the workflow here under Classroom, Community AI Makers, the link in the description of the video. We have a bunch of automations here. I'm working through all the popular automations, ones I personally use. So here in the workflow, you can just click on the workflow JSON under Reddit product or promotion agent and download it first. Then you go to your N8N installation. I have self-hosted it, create a new workflow, and then import from file, and then select that JSON that we just downloaded. It should load the whole workflow. Once you import your JSON, this is what your workflow will look like. So it's really in 3 parts. The first one is finding the relevant posts that has good reception among that subreddit's audience. The second part is crafting the posts similar to the well-performing posts. And the third part is publishing. I don't usually do the publishing automatically unless it is to my own Reddit. I review it and post it manually. We have a chat trigger at the start of the workflow here. This is where you specify your requests. For example, I can ask it to promote my products. Let's have a look at the Google Sheet that we are going to read from. So this is the Google Sheets. I have a list here called products. In here, I have listed all the products, product name, description, a link to the product, and a YouTube explanation tutorial. It has all my 4 products listed. And if I just want to find Reddit posts related to just one product, I can just say promote my SEO long form article product. In our case, I'll just say promote my products, and I'll send that information here. Let me just unlink this so that it doesn't go through all the way. Let's do this. And then we have the session ID and the chat input. The next node is a Google Sheets node. We'll have to create these account credentials. Have a look at these docs here, how to sign up. And they have a video as well, how to create these credentials. So basically you go to Google Cloud Console and create a new client using and copy paste the client ID and client secret here. So that's what that is. And after that is done, the operation is get rows, and we are reading from the Reddit promotion Google Sheet, and we are reading from the products tab here. If I play this, I will get executed. Then I'm going to pin that, and I can see that it has given me 6 rows. These 6 items mean that everything that follows will be executed 6 times. If you didn't have the aggregate node here, the agent will be run 6 times. It's not the agentic loop, it's the workflow loop. So 6 times the workflow loop plus the agent's loop. So we need to bring all the 6 items into one single output so that we can make sure that the keyword agent just runs in one process. That's the aggregate node here. And if I test this step here, we have 6 items here, and then in the output, everything is put into a single list. For that, we need to select all item data into a single list, and I'm putting that into a products field. In the keyword agent, I have a prompt and a system message, and these are available in our classroom as well under keyword agent if you want to do it manually. The prompts are here. Nothing complicated. Come up with keywords to search ready to find posts relevant to the user's request and products on Reddit. We have a bunch of instructions here. Think about what markets can benefit, what problems they have, brainstorm existing communities, use several angles and keywords, include problem keywords, query-like keywords, market keywords, interest keywords, phrase match keywords, provide a single list, provide a JSON output, and I'm providing the format of the JSON output. Usually in any AI agent prompt, I follow the structure. I define the task first, the overall overview, and I do the instructions. The formatting may be different, and then I give the output, and then finally I give the context. And after the context, I re-mention what to do, come up with keywords, and let's think step by step. This is appearing red, probably because I'll have to apply that from the beginning. Let's do that again. So if you click the re button here, it will resubmit the chat, and then I can pin it, and then I can use that. Now if I go there, that should be green. I have a system message here as well. You're an expert Reddit researcher. Your job is to create keywords that will be passed to Reddit API to find relevant posts. And more, I'm currently using O3 Mini. I am going to change that to GPT 4.1 Mini with a Think tool. The Think tool is just been released a month ago. For bigger models, you don't really need it because it has reasoning built in. For non-reasoning models, this can be beneficial. It just means that it provides intermediate place to store the prompts and its thinking process so that it mimics a chain of thought reasoning. I'll show you in a minute and you will understand how it works. Now it's executing some other workflow. Disable that. Test flow. Now it should until keyword agent is thinking now. Well, didn't use the think tool, so I'm going to force it to use, I'm just going to say, using the think tool. I'm going to pin this, and then I'm going to test the workflow again. So you see how fast that went? It doesn't look like it is still using the think tool. Yeah, it is using. It's just slow. So I have 6 main products related to automation, so it is actually thinking through. We have an output here. So this is basically, we have several products, and under each product, we have several keywords that we can use to search Reddit for. It's different for each product. So for example, our AI lead gen product, we have lead generation automation, cold email outreach, personalized emails, N8N, lead gen. And also we have added the required specific output format, that option, and have enabled that. I'm also giving the products the structure of the output that it should produce. Like products, we'll have a products key and products and number of products under the product key. That's what this does. You can expand this to see the whole structure. You can see that. So under each product, you have product name and keywords for those products. That's the structured output parser. And I'm going to pin that. And the next step, well, I'm going to re-execute it by saying we are in testing, only create 1 keyword per product. Oh no, yeah, only key. All right, now we have a new output. So each product has 1 keyword underneath: lead generation automation, social media content automation, YouTube video automation, things like that. And now I'm going to pin this so it doesn't get executed again. And then what we need to do is we are going to search Reddit for each product. So we want to split it out into 6 items. Now that is the product keywords. So we will take the product and keyword mappings out of those single item list. That is the split node here. If you search for split out node here, I have renamed it to product keywords. All you're doing is going to schema and copy, drag and drop this products page, products field there, and include no other fields. I'm going to test this step. So we have the product and the keywords. If you had multiple keywords there, it will be keywords grouped under. There will be multiple keywords here. And I'm going to pin that. You have a limit node here. This is for the limiting during testing. If you have tons of products, again, you can limit the number of products here. I want to extract the keywords out of those product keyword mapping. Drag and drop that keyword there. And destination field name, the split records will be in a keyword attribute. Test that step. Now we have extracted all the YouTube video automation from all the products. Social media content generation, lead generation automation, faceless AI videos. So this is 1 keyword per product now. And again, we have another limit here. You don't have to use it if you don't want. I'm going to delete that, and we are entering into a loop. So for each of these keywords, we need to search Reddit for relevant posts. That's what this is. You don't need a loop over item because it will be executed 6 times. The problem with that approach is that we because I'm using Google Sheet doesn't have a good locking mechanism. So if the processes run very close to each other and tries to append some data to the Google Sheet, what happens is that it ends up rewriting the same row. If you switch to a different database with a locking mechanism, you don't need this loop over. But with Google Sheets without a locking mechanism, this is the workaround. Add a loop over item. I didn't want to complicate it by using any other database. So what happens is each item comes through the loop and the batch size is 1. So that'll be one item in a loop. And this is the Reddit node, which we are going to use to do, you can do all these actions here, create a post, delete a post, get a subreddit, get a user, etc. And once that is added, you can click on this docs to go through the docs to add the credentials, refer to Reddit credentials here to set up the Reddit credentials. Of course, you need a Reddit account. And the same with Google, any OAuth client will have a client ID and secret, whichever API using, that's a protocol, common protocol used by different API providers. And you'll have a callback URL. If you go to Reddit apps preferences, that's the URL there, reddit.com preferences apps. You'll have to create an app, give these details and redirect your URI. If you go to create new credentials, click that and that will be copied. Add that to redirect. Once you do that, you will get a client ID and secret. If you go into the edit field, you'll see the secret up there. So now add these client ID and client secret there. Save that and come back here. We are going to search for posts. So resource must be posts and the operation is search and the location is all of subreddit. If you give subreddit, it will do the search on a particular subreddit, which is not what we want. And we are limiting the results to 20 per keyword search. If you want a lot more, you can add return all. It's not necessary. Even setting it to 20 will bring back items that are not super relevant. So it doesn't matter for us because this is section here when it processes the post, it qualifies or disqualifies the post. So if it's not super relevant, it just discards that. And that's that node there. I'm going to pin that and then test the workflow from the beginning. Now it is searching and it has returned 20 items. And all we are doing next is to filter it out based on how many upvotes it has and then writing it to your Google Sheet. So let me just pin that again so we don't waste our API calls. After that comes the filter node. In the filter node, each post retrieved from the API has a ups property. That is the number of upvotes. We have 3,000 upvotes for that first post. And then I have a condition here. If number of upvotes is greater than 30, that means that it has okay engagement. Some people have liked it. This means that 3,023 means that a lot of people liked it. And if it is under that threshold, discard that. So you can see that out of the 20 items, only 18 items were kept. If you kept 18 items, discarded items. You can increase or decrease according to your preferences. And I'm going to pin that. And the next one, we have to write all these posts to. I separated this into two separate sections because we needed to iterate over each of these posts returned by each API call. So that would mean that I'll have to loop inside a loop. And N8N doesn't actually work that great with loop inside loops. Better approach is to separate it into multiple workflows. But I didn't separate it into multiple workflows. In the same workflow, I'm going to do two schedules. I'm going to do with a schedule trigger instead. And that's why I'm writing to a Google Sheet as an intermediary and then reading from it again here. So that is a Google Sheet, which is, again, you need a Google credential. Go to console.google.com and to take you to the Google console. Click on the docs to see all the documentation here. Google Sheet credentials. If you click on it, select Google Auth 2 and all those nodes. And we are going to work with the resource, the sheet within a document. That's what we are going to work with. And we are going to append or update row because if multiple API requests using different keywords return the same post, we don't want duplicates. That's why we are using append or update. Select the sheet, the document, and the tab, worksheet tab, which will be for us engaging posts. The names are different because I renamed the tab names after I created the JSON file, but the link will still be the same. For example, I corrected the typo here. If I click on that, I will get refreshed. And map each column manually, and column to match on is the post ID. So it will match with the ID, and if the post exists, it will just update it with these fields and otherwise append it. So I've dragged and dropped a bunch of things from what I thought will be useful for the AI agent to consider to see if it is a good post, performing post. There's upvotes, downvotes, if it is banned in that subreddit. So probably not best to create a similar post. All those things have been added here. If you go to engaging posts on Reddit, I have to clear all this first. Test the workflow again. will stop after one iteration. Stop that. So 2 iterations. And the posts have been saved. So when we are saving it, we are also saving the chat input, promote my products, in the chat input, promote my products, and also the keyword used for searching the posts and the product associated with that keyword, and the subreddit where the post was found, and the self text is the post content, and all bunch of other fields. Let's get into the post qualification, disqualification. So once the first part of the workflow is finished, which is finding all the relevant posts from Reddit, that is written into the worksheet over here. So you can see that we have about 80 posts. Not all of them are relevant to our products or to our use case, and we will do further filtering on the relevance. Once that loop is done, we'll proceed to the next section here. So the loop's done endpoint is connected to a limit. As you can see, we are receiving 82 items here. That would mean that without the limit node, the rest of the nodes, anything comes after that, will be executed 82 times. We don't want that. So that is why we are using the limit node there. Let's go into the next section here. The first node in this section is a Google Sheet node. What we are trying to do here is to read all the products that we had specified in our Reddit promotion Google Sheet in the products tab here. So we have about 6 products here. Then we'll get read here. And again, we have to combine this. All the 6 items have to go in as one single list. That is why we are bringing in this aggregate node here. So this is again an aggregate node here. You can see that 6 items are going in and 1 item is coming out. This is so that one single list can be passed to the AI agent further down the line. We are selecting all item into a single list option and putting the output in the products field here. After that, we have another Google Sheet node, same configuration, where in the first node we read from the products tab inside the worksheet. In the second node, we are reading from the actual post that we found for each relevant keywords in the first section of this workflow. The worksheet is engaging post on Reddit, which is all the found posts, which has all the keyword that we used to find the post and the product for which the keyword was generated. That association comes in to this workflow once we read all these posts, and that is 80 items. We're going to loop over all these 80 items and process each post using the AI agent down here. So in the loop, I'm going to set this as 1. So we only want to process 1 post at a time. You can set it to 5 to process 5 posts at a time, or whatever batch size you want to process. I usually use 1 because I found that more effective. And in this case, I'm going to enable this and I will test this workflow. Let's stop there. The next node here is an aggregate node. Again, if we had 5 posts here, we want to put that into one single list. That is why this aggregate is here. All items into a single list, post, and put all the data in that post field. That's what that means. And after that, we have an HTTP request node, which is this HTTP request node here, which does an HTTP request similar to a browser. Coming from the aggregate node, we have all the posts aggregated there, and we are selecting the subreddit name prefix option. That will be like our ChatGPT in the first post, like that. He's coming from the post record from the Google Sheet. That would be subreddit prefixed. See, so if I paste drag and drop there, that'll be that. And if I copy paste that into my browser, which is the about page of that community, what we are trying to do is to read this community information and the rules associated. So we only want to create posts in a way that is in adherence to the community rules and what the community is about. So if there is more information about the community under the about community section, we can more confidently determine that whether this is a relevant subreddit to post in to promote our products. So that is what that HTTP request does. It reads the HTML of the whole page. We have to use the same credential type. N8N does have a Reddit node here, similar to what we used before. And then you have a get as Reddit, and you have a content option here, about and rule. It does the same thing, but it doesn't work because this doesn't have a credential option. Maybe it's an outdated, they haven't updated the Reddit edit node for a while. That's why I'm using the HTTP request node instead here, so that I can pass the credential type. If you don't use this, it will come back with an error saying forbidden or something like that. You're not allowed to use this API without the credentials. So that is why I had to use an HTTP request node here, and that gets you the HTML for the community information page and the rules. And after that, we have an HTML node. The HTML is for the full page, and in that we only want this section here. So we are going to provide the HTML tag under community information. It's called a site HTML tag with the community information area label. We only want the text content under this community information. The operation is extract HTML content, and the source data is coming from the previous node, which is this data here, and the extraction values, give the community the CSS selector for that. If you're not sure, you can just copy the element there and ask ChatGPT to give you the CSS selector. Just copy, paste the whole HTML. Hey ChatGPT, here's the HTML content of the page, and I want to read the community information section, and give me the CSS selector, and it will give you this. And the return value is actually a text, which means that it will remove any HTML tags. As you can see, there are no HTML tags in here, and put that in the key community information, which is this key over here. So you can see that the result is going into that community information field. So the next one is another AI agent node. After that, AI agent, we have a user message prompt in there, and we can again get the prompt here individually, have a read through, or just screenshot it. Let me just scroll down, screenshot it, and ask ChatGPT to transcribe it. I'm not going to go through all of it, but let me just quickly go through it. Use the think tool to analyze posts and qualify, disqualify posts for product promotion. Instructions: analyze post, qualify or disqualify. You must disqualify if a post, if it's not highly relevant to the user's request and appeals to the audience who hangs out on the subreddit. Is a post relevant? Does the poster represent a market or has a problem that is relevant to the product being sold? Is it a good upvote ratio? Is the subreddit itself relevant? Could the subreddit represent a market that is relevant? And I'm also giving some instructions on writing our similar post, a post about product that can be delivered in the same tone and style, because the people already in that community found the post appealing to them. So we want to write our post in the same style, tone, and the same length and format as well. The content should be 100% about the product and how it works in the same style, tone, format, and word count length. I'm also giving the JSON output format here, and this will be a list of posts in JSON format. If you are processing multiple posts here, in the loop, if I were to give 5, and the AI agent will decide how many posts need to be created here. In our case, I'm only processing one post at a time, so this is going to be one post. And in the context section, we are giving the product being processed. This is taken from the product list in the Google Sheet, and the keyword used to find product, this is also coming from the Google Sheet. Users requested the initial chat request, that is also recorded in the Google Sheet, and also we have the post to process, which is one post that is being processed in the loop, and it has all bunch of information, which I don't know what all of those means, but the AI will know. And we have the subreddit's rules and the community information here to qualify, disqualify again, and we have all the product data available here, which is pulled in from the product sheet from the Google Sheet. We have a chat model attached to it. I'm still using GPT 4.1 mini. It gives good results. I have a think tool again, and the structured output parts. So this is the same thing as you can copy paste the same thing in the output format here. Again, you need the require specific output format enabled to see that fourth leg 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise, this will not be available. So let me just do a couple of iterations here and go through the rest of the nodes right there. Let's do that again. Then you will be able to see the new post being generated. It's using the think tool, analyzing the post from our ChatGPT titled, and it's coming here, and it's in our second iteration here. Let it write that one as well, so that we have the false branch as well here. And we have how many posts? Yeah, we have one post written so far. Create a few more. Our side project, our ChatGPT. All right, let's stop there and go through the rest of the node. We have 4 posts written already. The next node in in here is an if node. So we are checking whether the previous node output, if that post parameter is not empty. As you can see that there has been a few empty items here. That was an empty array. As you can see the outputs, the second iteration. The third one was empty as well. The fourth one, no. So it's depending on the prompt. If it is disqualified, sometimes it doesn't output anything if it disqualifies it. So that is why that if node is here to check if it is not empty. If it is not empty, we'll continue down this path over here. Otherwise, it will go to the false path and continue to process the next item in the list. And if it is not empty, we have a split out node here. Remember, the post attribute may contain multiple posts. If you are processing multiple posts in the batch, so in the run, the first run, we have this post here, just one post in that schema, so that we can write everything into the subsequent Google Sheet. So in the split out, that is one record. That is going to be the one record in Google Sheet. And next we have the Google Sheet node, same credential setup, but this we are selecting append row. And the from list is Reddit promotion again, and Reddit post based on working posts, and map automatically. So we are not dragging and dropping what to be returned to the Google Sheet node here. We just say map automatically. So whatever is present here in this previous node's output, which is a split out node, this will all that will be written. So we have product, subreddit, post ID, post link, post summary, etc. So if you go to the Google Sheet page, you can see that the original post link, and this is for our YouTube automation product. It is recommending that we can write a similar post in our ChatGPT inside project. The title is Faceless YouTube channel automated, the whole thing 130k views so far. And comment for post. It also suggests a comment for the original post. Great insights on YouTube automation. It is AI generated, so maybe edit it a little bit. For creators aiming to scale long form faceless videos, our N8N based automation. So it tries to plug in our product. I don't usually do it. I have seen people doing it. And that's the Reddit URL to subreddit. And that's the original post. And that is the structure. And it has a image there. It has emojis and a specific structure there. Post summary for the post describes an extensive and powered automation system for creating faceless YouTube shorts. This post is highly relevant to YouTube video automation given it describes an automated video content creation. Okay. The post create a detailed post describing a unique N8N automation for creating long-form faceless videos. Include how it generates videos, etc. Style is detailed, informative, multi-paragraph with headings and bullet points. Personal, experimental, enthusiastic, and informative post tone. And post text format, the similar thing. Multiple paragraph with headings for each workflow step. A bit more information here. Clear sectioning and concise language. Faceless YouTube long-form videos. I automated the whole process. 10-minute videos done cheaply and easily. Promotional post is title it is trying to keep the virality here in the title that we generate. Promotional post content edit. I don't know why it is. Maybe it is. This has an edit April 21. And I started this as an experiment to make long form YouTube video creation. Now it reliably produces fully. So it's in the same style. It has like emojis and stuff like that. Let's get this published. I'm going to disable this. I'm going to connect this back here. And the publish section is pretty simple. It gets all the ready to publish posts and post to Reddit using the Reddit node and update the publish status back in the Google Sheet as published. So let's get this one published here. The status need to be ready to publish. Go back to the workflow and let me just enable this and test the workflow here, and I will explain. So now once that publishing is done, we have the status changed to published, and you also have the link to the published post. There you go. Faceless YouTube long form videos. I automated the whole process. You can edit in the Google Sheet if you want before doing the processing and manually set the ready to publish, and it has the same format. So that is, let's look side by side, more or less the same format. We need more product information. You have a brain, you have and it also has a YouTube link to our product. I just tutorial page. I deleted it. I accidentally posted it to our side projects. I should have changed that to my own subreddit. Anyway, you get the idea. So that's the idea. What we are trying to do here in this section is that we have a Google Sheet node, same credentials. We are going to get the rows and using the status as ready to publish. So it will get only those records, and we got that record, the post to publish. and we are using a Reddit node, and the resource is post. You're using the same Reddit credentials, and the operation is create, and we are posting the JSON subreddit that will be evaluated to our side project, and we are posting a text post, and the title that was generated by the AI agent, and also the content. That is what publishes the post to Reddit. And finally, we have another Google Sheet node. We are doing an update row operation. Column to match on is the row number, and so that it knows which record to update, set the status as published to. So that concludes our workflow. That is how I don't really recommend the post part automatically, because it can make mistakes and you don't want your Reddit account banned. You can try with a different account. And not with your main account. Build karma on that and try posting that. And all the resources here are on our community, and we have a bunch of previous N8N automations here as well, faceless videos, YouTube, social media agent, much more to come. Download these workflows, build on it, learn. If you have an agency, you can set it up. You can contact me as well, or build it yourself, set it up yourself. All the links for this are in the description below. Check it out, and I'll see you in the next one.